Hey guys, it's Yumi. Thank you for tuning into my very first video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make this awesome vegan ramen. I got the recipe from minimalistbaker.com, so if you like what you see, keep watching and I'll show you how to make it. Okay, so here's almost everything you need. The only thing I forgot to add was rice vinegar and yellow onion. So you're going to need soy sauce. Yes, you're going to need ramen noodles. You can get those at any local Asian store, or I think they sell some at Whole Foods also. You're going to need sesame oil and grapeseed oil. You're going to need vegetable bouillon and either white or yellow soybean paste. Now you want to make sure your vegetable bouillon is actually vegan, so make sure you check. Mine says vegan on there. You can check the ingredients. So you're going to need firm tofu. Make sure it's the firm kind. Yes, and then you need dried shiitake mushrooms. So these are all the vegetables you are going to need. You're going to need fresh ginger. You are also going to need some fresh garlic cloves, and you'll need that yellow onion I was telling you about. I picked out 2 carrots for us to use and some bok choy. Make sure you wash it, and some green onions for garnishing on top. Now let's get ready to cook. Get a big pot. There you go. And set your stove to medium-high heat. So I put it either 4 or 6, kind of put it in between. And you're going to want to take a tablespoon of grapeseed oil and a teaspoon of sesame oil. Put it in a little bowl together. Now that yellow onion, we're only going to use 1/2 of it. You want to chop it up into coarse pieces, like so. Now you want to peel the head of garlic and take 5 cloves. You're going to want to chop those cloves into fine little pieces. Then put them in the bowl with the onions. So next is the ginger. You're going to take 1 piece and you're going to need a peeler. You're going to just peel it, and then you're going to chop it into little diced pieces. And then when you're done, you just put it in the bowl with everything else. So you're going to take that bowl of freshly chopped vegetables and put it in there with the oils, and you're going to saute it in the pot for 5 to 8 minutes, or until the onions have brown edges. So now you're going to need 1 cube of vegetable bouillon and 1 cup of water. Mix those things in. Now when you're done mixing, you're going to add 2 more cubes of vegetable bouillon and 5 more cups of water. Now the first 2 cups that I poured had 2 cups of water in them, and the third that I poured had only 1 cup. 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. And then just throw in about 1/2 bowl of the dried shiitake mushrooms. So you're going to want to let it sit there and simmer for a little bit, and when it's done simmering, you're going to give it one last good stir, and then you're going to place a lid on it and set it on low. Let it simmer for at least 1 hour. That allows all the flavors to kind of come out, and the longer you let it sit, the more the flavors will come out. So I just want to pause for a minute and let you guys know that Minimalist Baker actually came out with the nutritional information. There it is. I'm not sure if this is entirely accurate because the recipe calls for vegetable broth and I used the bouillon. But here it is listed on the website. This is for 1 bowl of ramen, and this is without the toppings. So I actually went ahead and set my timer for 1 hour and 30 minutes. So now our toppings are going to be green onions, carrots, bok choy, and tofu. Now the tofu, we're going to want to place it on some paper towels, and we're going to pat them down until they're dry. Now I repeated this step twice, but I did not film the second time of me doing it because I felt that would be a bit redundant. So just pat that down like so. Now the recipe says to use cornstarch, but I don't have that, so I'm replacing that with rice flour. So you're going to take a tablespoon of that and put it in a plastic bag, along with a few pinches of salt and pepper. So now go ahead and put the tofu in the bag and shake. So I probably shook it too hard, but this is what it looks like when it's done being shaken. I'm gonna take some grapeseed oil and coat a hot pan over medium heat. And then I'm gonna go ahead and place those little tofu squares on there. And I'm going to go ahead and let them sit for 3 or 4 minutes until they turn brown. And then turn them over and let the other side get brown. So for the carrots and bok choy, I'm going to show you guys how to make a miso glaze with this white bean paste. And you're going to take a tablespoon of that, put it in a bowl. You're going to need a teaspoon of rice vinegar and a tablespoon of maple syrup. You will also need 1 teaspoon of soy sauce as well as 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. Now you're going to mix all those things together in a bowl, and you want to make sure that the bean paste is not lumpy. So you want to make sure you get all those lumps out with your spoon. Now if you don't have any rice vinegar lying around, which I'm sure most of you don't, you can always use lemon juice. And you'd be using 1 teaspoon in substitution. Now you're going to mix, and this is what it should look like. So go ahead and put your mixture into the carrots and just mix the carrots around. You're going to also want to make sure that your oven is preheated to 375 convection bake or 400 regular. That's in Fahrenheit, guys. And after it's all spread out on the pan, you go ahead and stick it in the oven. And you're going to want to set your timer for 20 minutes. Now with the same glaze and a brush, you're going to want to coat some bok choy evenly. Then with a pan on medium-high heat, you're going to want to let each bok choy sear. You're going to want to make sure both sides are seared pretty good until the glaze turns a little bit brown. So by the time you're done with that, the carrots should also be done and out of the oven. You're going to want to put that in a bowl, and voila, we are done with our toppings for the ramen. So there's something that I totally forgot to record, but after your 1.5 hour timer is done for the broth, you're going to want to go ahead and add a tablespoon of miso paste, and then you're going to want to let it sit for another 30 minutes. Last but not least is the actual ramen noodles themselves. I used 2 packets, and whatever soup base they already came with, just throw them out, or So boiling water, you're going to want to stick both of those in there. So you're going to want to stir it around and let it cook for as long as it needs to cook for. I'm sure we've all made pasta before, so I'm pretty sure we've all got this part down. And now we're going to want to take the heat off of the broth, and we're going to make sure we have a ladle on hand. Drain the ramen noodles and let the broth sit until the timer is up. And this is the finished product, guys. So as you can see, I went ahead and put the broth in first, and then I put the ramen noodles, and I topped it with all the toppings that we made, including some green onions and sesame seeds. Hope you guys liked the video, and like I said, there will be more videos to come with me doing simpler things for those on a budget. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys next time.